Hi chat, hope you're all having a great day. Make sure you hit that like button and share the video with your friends. I want you to be happy. So this stream is for all the people out there that aren't really that happy. Be happy. Oh, don't worry, be happy. Hey, don't worry, be happy, man. Ah, no clue how it goes. I'm gonna work on a song. I'm gonna try and come back to one. Make sure you hammer down on the likes, share the videos. Be happy, man. Hey, don't worry. Be happy. How does that song go? How about this one? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs... Oh, remember this one? Wait, it's coming to me. Oh, it was like... Do it like they do on a Discovery Channel. Ugh, nah, skipping it. Barbie, come on Barbie, let's go party. That's Aquaman. I saw the sign, and it opened up mine. I saw the sign. Saw the damn sign. It was back there, babe. Turn around. I saw the sign. I said, spin this thing around. Spin the hybrid around. Damn it, babe. I saw the sign, baby. It was back there. You passed it. You're passing it. And then moving into Metallica. No, Megadeth. You take a mortal man and put him in. I gotta write that down. That's one of my favorite songs. Hang on, there's something else coming to me. No, we're gonna go back. Symphony of Destruction. Isn't that what I'm singing? I am become a god. And watch him get control. I have no clue about words, but we're trying them. We're trying them out today. Megadeth. We gotta make sure we write that down. And partially deaf for Megadeth. It's a real thing. I can full on fledge for Megadeth. So, ooh, Bryan Adams. Isn't Nothing Else Matters? No. I Love You. No, skip Bryan Adams. That didn't even count for anything. And Nothing Else Matters. Here's Metallica. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. That's all I got, but there's more. I could keep just going with that one. That one's an endless looper all day. I could endless loop that, no problem. I would be happy to endless loop that song for the rest of eternity. Live on YouTube. Wait for it. Ooh, The Gambler. I have no. Come on, Kenny Rogers, Willie Nelson, one of you. I can't do it. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Can you believe I put my cowboy hat on? I lifted my cowboy hat and there was 3 ladies in laces. And know when to fold 'em. Oh, damn. You gotta count your money when you're sitting at the table. That first time around, I thought I had 3,200, but I didn't, and I called them. When the dealing's done, now we're fading, we're drawing a blank here. 372,000 people listening in, watching live. What are we even really gonna do? Tropics. Ooh, I got one. Walk like an Egyptian. These are some of the best songs I ever. The 80s is so full of music. This is what I call music. Like, if you spell music with a Z, you're cool. Like, I'm gonna get you, but you're still cool. Music. You've got to say it with a Z too. Music. Zick. You know? And now, go back to it. Walk like an Egyptian. Start making those. We got to keep doing it. I totally don't know the words. Okay, moving on. Police. Where? No, that was a sick joke. I shouldn't have done it. I was going to try and sing a song by them, but... Oh, McDonald? Drawing a blank here. Wait for it. Wait. We're going to go 70s? Ooh, this one's tough. Tough era. I'm staring at a black mirror that's off. And, oh, I don't need to have... Oh, yeah, I'm running that to see in here. I'm having some sight. Hang on. I gotta know more tunes than this. GNR. Ooh, GNR. Take Me Down to Paradise City. Right, first I gotta see what's really going on here. So, take me down to the Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yeah. And then if you wanted to do more, you could do more. I was going to do more. If I'm being told to do more, I'm not doing more, right? I'm not getting paid enough for this, number one. Like, I want millions. And they paid Weird Al millions. And I'm clearly a lot hotter than John Bon Jovi. Plus, my name is so easy to say. Hash. It's just, it flows, you know? Kenny Rogers. Like, no, that's seriously, that name will be like dust. Dude, Kenny, I love you, my Amma. She was definitely into Kenny Rogers, I'm telling you. Big time. She had all those Christmas records. I'm trying to figure out if they were banging a Kenny or something. Like, I want to get rid of this thought now. We have to stop this. It was a record player. It was like in the center of the living room. I'm trying to figure out, like, where would they have done it? At their age, my God. Stay in the bed, people. Alright, moving on. That a horrific vision. There's nothing we can do about that now, can we? But found a bean. Oh, that reeks. It smells so good. So. Oh, jeez. I kind of forget where I was with the songs. 70s. We went 70s, eh? Hang on, I gotta make sure something's... I got a bit of work to do, so trying to have some lighthearted fun. It's starting to get a little warmer out, so I got some places to go and things to do, so I'll be in the yard all day, but I just gotta like move around everywhere. Do some stuff in the garage. clean it out. You know, we're giving stuff away, so we gotta make a big pile for a giveaway, and then or like, you know, for donations, and then to go give it away today or tomorrow or whenever, you know. So by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, I want to have like 500 pounds of donations given out. So all clothing, whatever it is, I don't even know anymore. Furniture, we have stuff. My wife has a lot of say. You know, to me, honestly, I would keep a lot of it, but she doesn't want anything really anymore, so whatever she doesn't want, I'll give in half the time at least, maybe more. Like, I mean, I don't really care, really, to be honest. Like, I don't really care. But if it was just me, I'm not going to throw it away, but I would donate it. But to be honest, I think I would sell it. Anything that was like somebody wanted that I knew, you could take some stuff with you. You could have you could ask me, hey, do you want these things here? And I'd be like, yeah, take whatever you want out of that. But otherwise, I would just sell everything. Because that is actually a good way to do things. My wife's cousin does that. That's a great idea. But I've been a couple other places. I'm not taking her hoorah away. I mean, I'm sure hopefully she probably was given that opportunity too by somebody. Now she's doing the same, right? Influence is a very powerful thing, and it can be a very good thing, but it has to be governed by your conscience. It has to be a consciously good, you know, influential move. It's a big thing. Like, psychologically, there's not really like a single word that describes the whole influence thing. It's actually so deep, it's crazy. And if I understood it completely, I would be able to explain it in layman's terms, but I don't, obviously, or I would have explained it by now. So to tell you the truth, influence is so big that it's bigger than anyone can even think up. Any one person can think up. What you have that you can think up would be different than what I could think up, and they both go in a big bowl of ways that influence was powerful. You would think of a bunch of ways that I didn't, and I would think of a few ways, I'm sure, hopefully I'm not that stupid, that you didn't. So there's that many. It's that deep is what I'm saying. Like, I only think about a few certain things, right? I'm not saying I think about everything. I don't have a good grasp on science or, you know, like gases, noble gases. I'm not the guy to start telling you what's the lightest gas or the heaviest, or, you know, what is its scientific name or whatever. Like, I got a periodic sheet over there for something. Anyway, it's not like the regular. It's like, what is it for ions? Let me read it. Let me get it. I can't think of what it is, but it's right here, and it's old. This is super old. This is the periodic table of ions. Yeah, table of complex ions. Yeah, I don't even know what this was in a book or something, and I just took it out because I was like, this looks really old. Plus, I've never heard of this before. Like, I mean, I've heard of ions. I didn't know it had its own periodic table. I've heard of the other, like, there's a different periodic table that I refer to, and it's not that one. But now that I look at it, this is the table that I studied in elementary school. That's crazy because zinc is on here. Cadmium, CD, carbon, silicon, boron, helium, neon, argon, krypton. There's some that you can hardly read. Anon, radon. Oh, I think this one might say xenon. Interesting. They made xenon processors in, well, fuck, 1993 or no, sorry. Well, I'm sure they did, but they gave them to the public in 1999 or early 2000 because that's when I got a PC. And I didn't get that one. I didn't get a Xenon processor. I got a Pentium 3. What does this say? Wolfram, tungsten, actinium, radium. Remember there's that 133rd element or whatever? This periodic table goes to 103. Copyright 1987. So this thing's almost 40 years old. This will be 37 years old this January. Something like that. I don't know, maybe something, I can't remember. How did I even figure this out? Yeah, 37. So we'll be 37 years old in January. Rhodium, ruthenium, technetium, molybdenum, niobium, zirconium. Wow, this one's even good. Yttrium, 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 strontium, but it only goes up to 103. Now, well, I don't know what the hell this is really, but there's a guy, element, what was it, 115? Or was it 133? I can't remember. What the hell was it? What element 115? You can Google it. Bob Lazar, element 115 or something like that. It's in the periodic table now. But if you, before, at the time when he said this thing existed, in science worldwide, they didn't even acknowledge in the tiniest fragment that such an element existed. Period. So, I don't know exactly, like, if it's... They give you the basics, you know? But maybe they keep back some really powerful elements that would totally either lead to free energy, just if you combine air and water, right? Something super simple like that we have a vast abundance of carbon and, you know, like poop, you know, fish poop or cow poop, phosphorus. It's interesting. What I find the most interesting, and I'm not sure that, and I've really been thinking about this for quite a while. I'm not going to say 47 years or something, but at least 5 or 6 years, probably longer. But I can't say when I first thought about this at all anymore. I just know I've been thinking about this. And I'll give you today's example specifically for what I just watched. That refers to it or has to do with something else I'll get into in a minute. And this is what dawned on me. I was like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've always wondered that. But I'll tell you. And they don't talk, this wasn't like a groundbreaking thing where they came up with this. They just simply mentioned that there's a creature in the sea, in the ocean, on Bering Sea Gold, on episode 9, season 16 or something like that. They find a worm, they call it a worm penis, a penis worm. I don't know what it was called. Yeah, something like that. And anyway, but they say a fact about it. They're like, why does this thing exist, you ask? And underneath it says, because, or it exists to give smaller worms food. And I was like, but how? And then I'm like, I get it. So literally it eats a bunch of stuff, and then poops it out, and then it eats it. But here's what it eats. It eats bedded hard bed clay. So like really hard packed clay. You can't really blow it away and wash it away when you're dredging, so it's that heavy. These worms, these penis worms, eat that and then poop it out for the smaller worms to eat. Meaning, he turns it into a more digestible and easier accessible meal for them that they would have never had without him or it, you know. So isn't that interesting? But now I'll tell you something. Now we're gonna go deeper and off to the left. Now remember that thing there and its digestive system, and its purpose is to feed other worms. Kind of forget that, but remember how it's the mechanics of what it does. It eats something and then poops it out, right? So now think of this. Think of your garden, your plants, and something that is accessible to them. They're foraging, they find something that they really like, they enjoy it, they start eating a lot of it. What if they can create something that we can't, make, but it has to go through this long chain of events of digesting and eating and making and digesting and eating. What if there is like something in between there that does its job, and then on the other side it's a mineral or some type of cows are depending on what a cow eats. We'll go somewhere else now because I have to explain it further. Cows have multiple stomachs, but just bear with me. What if a cow fills up all 9 of its stomachs, whatever it has, 4, 5, or 6 of her stomachs, with the greenest or most organic, high organic fertilized lawn you can have. Very, very highly amended, just to the nines, and the grass is flourishing in primo weather, prime sun, little rain, lots of wind to dry it out, you know what I mean? So now, what's going on with the cow pies, right? They're going to be highly sought after, right? So take out the cow and put a butterfly, put a larvae or some sort of small beetle, and then run it up a chain of larger beetles or larger butterflies and moth family and things like that, hummingbirds, whatever it is that it has to move into. But it can eat something that's harder and more not digestible by the larvae side, but by the time the hummingbird craps it out, or the eagle, or the sea turtle, or the snapping turtle, whenever it breaks it down. Even geese eat rocks. Chickens eat small pebbles, right? So even some of all those minerals, high content minerals, would come off of those rocks. All different kinds of grains, of shreds of every type of mineral, basically. You have to think big here. This is what happens with an ecosystem, especially one that's not so much a diverse ecosystem of minerals. Forget about species for a second and just concentrate it with high levels of minerals. You may be able to create something with the help of all the other creatures in the biosphere. I don't know what the term is. I'm not an anti-apologist or anything. I don't have a clue about them, but I'm saying to you, I know for a fact that there is a process. I'm telling you, I know it. I'm telling you that if you feed the highest skip grass and go to big old plants, proper. Now, depending on the type of plant, maybe what the bug poops out is medicine. Do you get what I'm saying? it may not even be able to digest that side of it, and it eats all just the straight chlorophyll. Like it absorbs just the chlorophyll from it and spits out all the other high mineral stuff as fast as it can. It just gets diarrhea and poops it right out. This is what I think goes on. But then here's the next. The bigger bug that eats that bug while its stomach is full, right? And it digests it, and then it poops it out to all the smaller, whatever it is, flies, bugs. I'm telling you, there is good that can come out of this. I know there's a lot of people that only study, the evil viruses that can be created, but I'm thinking more of fuels, medicines, and oils and ointments. Not necessarily like why do people think that if a bug is eating it and pooping it out in all of 2 or 3 hours, and its whole life is spent on a leaf, eating the leaf, and it never leaves, literally never leaves the leaf, then what? And it's an organic leaf, then why is it gross, right? So we gotta, I get that certain acids or something could come out in certain types of bugs, but there are a lot of bugs that literally basically go to the bathroom after eating. You can look this up. I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation about it, but it's pretty interesting. So, and if we're 98% of the same genetic makeup as a fly, right? 98% the same. I believe it's almost 98% of everything is, if depending if it walks on land or not. Octopus, they have confirmed, are definitely alien, not from here. So it's interesting to know that there are sanctuaries in some places for the octopus, but not for every other thing, right? Like there's areas that are off limits for fishing and certain other things, and it's taken quite seriously. But it's also not talked about. So you could look up some of this stuff on your own. I find it very interesting that not enough is being done to create a conversation or even an education system simply for plants. And there's always you have to have a certain degree and a certain type of latitude and longitude if you want to even show up at some of these academicas and all this. I wouldn't want to be part of that. I honestly wouldn't. I'd want to be part of something where people just spoke and showed, pointed at a plant and explained. Then I could either, choose to listen or not, because there could be a lot of conversations going on. Well, remember I said before how some people may only put one letter or one different influential idea into the fishbowl of ideas that, creates the power that is the overall influence of what is influence. I bet you I could put a boatload of pieces of paper with different, influential ideas. So I'm not shy on influence. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do that. So that's why I don't feature name brands all the time and this and that. They'll have to make sure that they're doing the utmost for the environment. Clean energy. What do I mean by clean energy? We should try going solar. Like the sun shines every day in some parts of the world for 24 hours a day. How come we don't do any business where there's lots of sunlight? Like, I just don't know if the world isn't being run very carefully or methodically in the slightest. Some of the people that are in power in these big, big places do nothing. They do nothing while they're there. And it's shameful. It's shameful. You can't solve all the problems of everybody in one day, but what you can do is make everybody's life a little easier by having clean energy for the whole grid. 10% more while you're there. You do something, To have nothing being done in any way, shape, or form is shameful. Shameful. Every world leader or person who's in charge should be looking to give people more access to electricity for indoor greenhouses and things like that, so you can grow your own food in your own backyard. There should be government grants to have. It should be mandatory. If you have enough sun to grow vegetables, it should be mandatory for you to have a greenhouse if you own a property. And then in that greenhouse, you would, if you don't want to eat the vegetables, you would give 100 pounds of vegetables a year to, I don't care if you give it to a hockey rink. And then when kids go to play hockey, they don't have to pay for the food. They already, there's food there that's grown in a garden. It takes off of our power demand, right? It costs a lot of money in fossil fuels to ship potatoes from Mexico, when we clearly have a lot of potatoes in Canada that we're selling for way too cheap to other places in the world. I don't know why. So I want to help out other countries, but I think the best way for Canada to help other countries is for Canada to grow an abundance of vegetables every year organically with the massive amounts of soil that are here. Peat in Canada is huge. We have a peat moss supply that is very abundant here. It's called the Canadian Shield, and that's what, I'm not going to get too much into it. Go look this up on your own. Ontario is full of peat moss. Ontario is massive. So what happens, and it's all over, it's not just there, there's tons of peat moss in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, it's everywhere. But there's a ton of it in Ontario. And it goes down into the States as well. I believe it goes through the Canadian Shield, goes into like Lake Superior, Michigan and all that, and probably even in Chicago there's peat moss. Britain is a prime example of energy costs going sky high. California, energy bills sky high. China, rising energy costs. These are huge city centers, huge, metropolises. And they're going to suffer, That a lot of people jam England and London, they're real tight. And it's not going to be pretty when you guys don't have enough food, when you guys don't have enough power and heat, it ain't going to be pretty. Try and figure out a way to convert to fireplaces. Are you even allowed? Like, it's hilarious. It's not funny. It's sad that you guys can't have a fireplace in California, or most of the states are getting rid of fireplaces. Is it not to make you pay more for energy? I'm pretty sure coal burning energy plants, things like that, are the dirtiest. And then I think nuclear is like actually way better than a few things. So it's wood burning is dirty, coal is dirty. Wood burning is better than coal. I don't think steam was on there. I don't know. I don't remember seeing steam on the list there. It was like 6 months ago, a year ago, I don't know. I looked at some kind of paper that, gave you a percentage of how their rating system works. So for renewable energy, you got water, hydroelectric dams. You've got gas. Yeah, gas is one too. Gas, you've got air, wind turbines. You've got solar, wind, water, and gas. And coal. And wood. And nuclear. I think there was 2 types of nuclear, but maybe I'm wrong. No, I think there's 2 types. They don't really use one type as much anymore. It's crazy. You used to dig something into the ground. I gotta read up on it. I swear it was like the size of a battery. Tiny little nuclear reactor. I was watching a show one time about this kid from Vegas or something like that, and he's probably 30 now, 25 or 30, and he's one of the world's smartest people when it comes to science. Nuclear fusion, all that stuff. He made crazy stuff in his basement with his dad. And he had like the cops come to his house and everything, like some high up cops, and they're like, yeah, this is like highly illegal. But instead of putting the 13-year-old in jail, they hired him. So that's a pretty interesting story. It's a true story. You can Google that kid. I think he's from 1990s. That story happened in the 90s. Oh yeah, and he also created something. Created an invention. Oh, it smells so good. Well, I'm all done now, so I'm gonna definitely, probably, we'll see, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more of these next week, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you next time.